Welcome back to the GTE podcast. I'm your host, John L. Gandy. I bring on special guests from athletes, coaches, and people in the fitness industry. I learn about their history, their journey, and will help them become successful and how people can learn from their experiences how to be greater than ever. My special guest today, probably the most decorated IFBB pro ever, the most accomplished bikini competitor ever. A Division I track athlete at the University of Akron, where she competed in the 400-meter hurdle and the 800-meter. She turned pro in 2012, and in her pro debut at the Houston Pro, she took 5th place. The following year, she did the Arnold Classic in Columbus, where she took 10th place, her lowest placing to this day. She won her first ever pro show at the Powerhouse Classic, followed by the Toronto Pro. 2013 Olympia, she came in as an underdog. No name, no expectations, and her first Olympia ever, she became the Miss Bikini Olympia champion. Her life has changed forever since that, and she's gotten so many opportunities, and she's had a positive impact on the community. 2014 was the ultimate test. After winning the Arnold Classic that year, she was the first one to ever successfully defend the Bikini Olympia title. An icon, a legend, an inspiration. The reason why so many people got into this industry is because of her. I don't know how the division of bikini would ever been if she was never the Miss Bikini Olympia champion. She really made an impact and changed the game. She is so successful that they even made a new division for her, the fit model division. In this conversation, we discuss her journey and what makes her successful and why she's always a perennial Olympian at the top of the game. Year in and year out, always winning shows, always at the top at the Olympia, and always continuing to improve and evolve. She's a once-in-a-lifetime athlete. I don't think we'll ever have someone like her in another 10 years. Maybe if you ask me that question, possibly, but it is my greatest honor to say this. From Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Akron, Ohio, she is the one, the only, 3-time Miss Bikini Olympia champion and 2-time Arnold Classic champion, Ashley Kaltwasser.
Hi.
How you doing, Ashley?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing very well. I am so honored to have you on.
Oh, likewise. I'm so happy to be on. I've been watching you interview the other girls, and I got a little jealous. So I'm glad that we could connect here.
Yeah. I mean, I've wanted to make sure when I have every guest on that I don't ask a question that I may have heard or maybe seen before. I want to give you something like unique to them and, ask them things that maybe I want to know and get their point of view. So everything I have is something that I don't think has ever been asked of you before. So I'm glad to have you on here.
Okay. I'm down. This is going to be exciting.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, when bikini started way back in 2009, I didn't like it at all. And I'll tell you why. And people think, oh, because it's another division. No, I didn't like the way they were posing. It looked uncomfortable. I'm sorry to say this, but back when I think it was, remember when Sonia won and I think, what was her name? Nicole and then Natalia, they used to pose and they were all, you remember that old G?
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's cringy. Like, I look back on it, I'm like, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch.
I'm sorry.
I understand.
It looked like someone snapped their back in half. I'm like, oh man, they got to see a chiropractor.
Yeah.
And I was like, something had to be done and something had to be different. And, every year things started changing. And then you came along and you were the person that came out of nowhere and look where you are now.
Yeah.
So I wanted to,
dog. Yeah.
and I will get to that point, but I wanted to kind of know about you. So I kind of did some research. So you're from Akron, Ohio.
I
am. So you were a track athlete at University of Akron, and I don't know if this is true. You didn't like track at all, even though you were a Division I athlete.
No, I loved track, but I fell out of love with it when I got to college.
Oh yeah.
So it was like my main focus, like it was my obsession for many years. And then when I got to college, I got so distracted that I just, it was an afterthought,
Yeah. Because I don't know if I heard this maybe from one of Adam's videos, you would throw up every practice. I can't imagine ladies, practice is over, go home, and then you throw up.
Yeah. 400-meter repeats on Tuesdays. Yeah, I would always throw up afterwards, and I hate that feeling. So I love the fact that I can reflect on that and be like, whatever I'm doing now, dieting, it's not as bad as that. So it taught me how to work hard.
Yeah. And what was so crazy is that you like being in the gym more than you actually like being in track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could say that now. Yeah.
I was thinking about Corey Everson. She was one of the early women's bodybuilders. She was a track athlete at Wisconsin Madison,
Mm.
and she like being in the weight room versus going. She was a thrower, like
Oh,
shot put discus. And then one time a coach was like, "What are you doing in the gym? Shouldn't you be at practice?" Like, I don't feel like it. I like being in the gym. I like training. And her husband, Jeff Everson, was a strength coach for the football team, and that's where she kind of learned everything. I mean, she was a gymnast, kind of like you. It's so coincidence, isn't it? Funny that 30 years later, you're almost like Corey Everson.
oh yeah.
She's
Yeah.
the fourth. She's the fourth Miss Olympia
Uh-huh.
bodybuilder. You're the fourth Miss Bikini Olympia. You both
Hmm.
were track athletes. You both
See,
won on your first Olympia you ever
yeah,
did.
you're making all these correlations that I didn't even know existed. So that's a cool coincidence.
Yeah, and that's what I look at you. You're not just, well, you see, I'm a lawyer during the day and I'm a bodybuilder at night, or I'm a CPA as my daytime job and I bodybuild. No, you're athlete everything. Like you live the lifestyle. You
I
every
do. Yeah, I
eat,
think there's
sleep,
a lot of
train, everything.
yeah, a lot of girls, I don't know why, but they want to make it like an athlete is like a not their main thing that they do, which I'm proud to say mine is. Everything that I do for work revolves around competing. So I don't just compete and that's my income, but I do everything that I do revolves around the industry. So it's really cool, really, really cool.
Yeah. So before you got, what got you into bikini in the earlier days while you were, was it when you were in college? Back in the day when they didn't have bikini, it was just bodybuilding, fitness, and figure. Did you ever think that you would ever do fitness or figure? I know you are a gymnast. So
Yeah. So I got into the sport because actually my former track coach in high school, I followed her on Facebook and she did figure. I thought that was really cool. So I went to check out her gym and I noticed that they had bikini as a division too. And I'm like, that seems something that I could do. I want to see what this is all about. So I trained for my first show and I fell in love with it. So the rest is history there. But as far as like ever considering other divisions, to be honest, there was a time where I entertained the idea of possibly doing fitness at one point because I can still do the tumbling and all that good stuff. But I came to the realization that I'll never be like big enough for it. And I know that it's mostly routine based, but if you're going to be a smaller girl on stage, which I would be like the smallest girl up there, you need to make sure your routine is like best by far, and I couldn't say that that's the case. I So the sport has surpassed me in that. So I think that's something that I entertained for a time, but I realized it's not really my thing. Plus, this bikini division seems to be going well for me, so let's stick with it.
yeah. So you turned pro in 2012, right?
Yes.
And you did your debut at the Houston Pro and you got fifth place.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of people don't even know about that one. That's an old, yeah.
So then you did your first Arnold, and I don't want to say, please don't take this wrong way, but you got 10th place. That was your worst show ever.
No, my worst show ever was my first Arnold as an amateur was 14th place in my height class. So I want to say my first show ever was probably my worst show, but that was an amateur, so I don't know if we count that.
But so in the pro
Yes,
league,
that would have been my worst. Yes.
and you took second in Pittsburgh and in New York Pro,
Mm-hmm.
and then you won the Powerhouse Classic, and then you won Toronto Pro. So knowing that you took second into like one of the two most prestigious shows, did you go into those two pro wins like, hey, I can do this, I can make it to the Olympia?
I think it was starting to become real when I was winning second at those two shows because they are bigger, more prestigious shows, right? So after that, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe I have a shot to go to Olympia here. And my goal was just to win one pro show. Uh, and I thought that would be the pinnacle of my career. So it's like funny how things work out and definitely exceeded my expectations big time.
Okay. Before we get to the topic of the 2013 Olympia, that's where I got into like the whole. That's where I got introduced to you. That 2013 Arnold. So the champion at the time was Natalia Mello. India
Uh-huh.
Paulino defeated the former and the current Miss Olympia, Natalia and Nicole. She was the person to go and say that she was going to win the Olympia. Everybody was talking about her. And it was so crazy that her and Dexter Jackson won the same shows and in that Olympia, they both placed 5th place.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when I was in college, and this was September. I'm sorry to make you feel old. This was
Oh,
2013. I bought the pay-per-view, and my friends were like, "Come on, let's go party." So I'm like, "No, I'm gonna go watch this." So they had the open men's going on, and after like 2 rounds, like Phil Heath was the champion. They did 2 rounds of posting, and then Steve Arnold goes, "Phil, go back in line." I'm like, "What?" So it was pretty much a one and done. I was like, "Well, this is disappointing." I'm like, "Damn, I spent $45, and now I got like it's all over. The call is over." So then I decided, I'm going to watch Bikini. I'm like, let's see what's going to be interesting. And going into it on paper, it was India, Nathalia, and Amanda Latona.
mm-hmm.
And when they did the first, I think there was only 22 girls. Yes, 22
I
girls
wish it was
there.
like that now. Shoot. Can we go
I
back to
know.
that?
We can
22
get on that
girls
topic again. I
at
wish, yeah. It's supposed to be
please.
the best of the best. We'll have that topic. So
Yes. Okay.
when they go through the first call out, 3 girls that nobody expected at all, Yashera, and Stacey Alexander get called back. And I recognize Yashera because she won Pittsburgh in New York, and I kind of knew a little bit about Stacey, but I'm watching it. I'm like, who's number 11? Who's number, like, that was your number in that Olympia. And I'm just like, who is 11? She looks like she actually might win this. She came out of nowhere. I'm like, I don't know who this person is. She might actually win this thing. And I looked, I'm like, so in between the prejudging and finals, I kind of looked up the names. I'm like, Ashley Kaltwasser from Ohio. I'm like, oh, wow. And so there was going to be a new champion after that. And
Mhm.
I remembered when they did awards and they were going through it, they went from 6th place and then they got to the top 2. When they announced Yashira, I remembered your reaction, and you were like, you couldn't believe what just happened.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and you started crying. I never forget that moment. And then
Yeah.
you got
Happiest
handed.
moment of my life to date. And I listen, you didn't expect me to win. I didn't expect myself to win. I was literally just happy to be there. And I was like, you know what? It might even be reaching too far of a reach, but if I got like top 10 at the show, whoa, that'd be crazy. Like that might be a reach though. So I was like, you know what? Just happy to be here. But yeah, I was so like unexpecting this that I thought the call outs, they were trying something new. I thought, oh, they must be trying a new technique or trying to get the crowd all on the edge of their seats. Cause I was like, there's no way I'm first call out. Like that has to be wrong. And everyone was congratulating me after prejudging, like, congrats. Wow, looks like top 3. And I'm like, I don't know if that was the first call out though. Chill out. Like I don't know, that was suspicious. So I didn't even realize it until they were probably like when they said like 3rd place, because I was like, that girl was in my call out, wait a minute. So that's how it came to be, but I was just as shocked as everyone else.
So you went into your first Olympia, did you put yourself like no expectations at all? Were you like nervous backstage? Did you kind of think like, I'm here, I'm happy to be here. If I do well, great. If I don't, oh well. Because
Yeah.
you said, I hope to at least be 10th place. Were you kind of like, if I don't get top 10, if I get 11th, 12th, I'm like, oh, well.
Well, I no, I was literally just happy to be there, and for the 10th, being 10th place or better, that was more like wishful thinking. I was like, I might be too unrealistic to want top 10. That would be nice, but I was literally happy to just be there. I was like starstruck. I was like, there's no way I'm on the stage with these girls that I looked up to for so many years. There's no way. So I was literally just happy to be there. Zero expectation. So I was definitely the underdog by far.
And I never forget that picture. And I never forget when you had that trophy in your hand. I don't know if you knew how to react when you like, because you just won. You did something unbelievable. Like nobody expected. When you had the trophy in your hand and they told you to post a picture, you're like looking around. You're like right, and you're like, I don't know what to do. And they told you just pose for that. And I think they were telling you because they were trying to expedite. There's like they told you to post, and you're like, okay, and you like gave a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I never forget that.
I know what you're talking about. I was like, yeah, look, mom, look what I did.
So how crazy was it when you're after winning, your whole life changed, and it gave, you came from came nothing to like now you're at the top of the game. How was it after, after the Olympia, after that whole experience? How was that?
It felt so unreal. I was just like, what just happened? It was insane. I just was so excited. And, I think what makes it even more special is that it was so unexpected. Like, I think there's a lot of athletes that go in, like, everyone wants to win, but
Yeah.
many athletes, like, say, I am going to win. Yeah, I'm going to win. I'm for sure going to win. Yep. And then when they don't, it's disappointment. But on the other end of it, the way I think is, I'll set my bar a little bit lower, my expectations a little bit lower. And if I exceed that, that's a win. Like no matter what, if I exceed that lower bar. So it's like a little mental game I play with myself, just keeping the expectations low so that I'm continuously surprising myself and exceeding my expectations. So I'm really big on keeping, realistic goals.
Yeah. So you applied for the Arnold in 2014 and you won
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
How was it like meeting Arnold? I
So
remember that the
cool.
first one. And
So
he's like,
cool.
go ahead. Go ahead.
It was because I'm from Ohio, so like it's extra special because that's like the only thing we got going on in Ohio. So it's like the Arnold was like I knew about the Arnold even before I knew about like the world of competing, like because it's there. Everyone from my high school goes to the expo; it's a big thing. So I went to the expo even, you know, as a teen, never knowing or ever realizing that one day I'd be on that stage. It never crossed my mind. So it's so cool. So cool.
I mean, I always even say this to athletes, and I think it's an honor and it's a prestige to go into get invited to the Arnold Classic. Because if you think about it, it's harder to get into the Arnold versus the Olympia because it's an invite only.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
need to do
go
it
ahead.
next year.
Of
Hopefully,
course.
if everything goes well, I want to do the Arnold next year.
All right. So going in as the champion, as the Miss Olympia champion, did you feel like it's a risk? Like if you don't do well, it's going to make yourself look bad, or you kind of went like, you know what, I want to win this title. I want to. That's something. It was on my bucket list. I wanted to do this.
So I definitely didn't think of it as anything to deter me from, competing there. I think the way I think now versus the way I thought then is different. Then I just went for it, like whatever. I'll just do it. It's a show. It's in my home state. I want to do it. Whereas like these days, especially this year, I'm way more strategic about the shows I do and when I do them. But yeah, I think back in the day, I didn't have as much hesitancy about doing shows and things like that. I just went for it. But nowadays, I realize that like it is a risk every time you step on stage. So there is that.
You won, and I remembered Arnold asking you, "What does it mean to win a bikini competition?" He's like, "Well, that's a really good question. I wouldn't expect anything less." I never
Yeah,
forget.
yeah. He's a snappy one.
I loved it when he did those interviews. He would like kind of like troll people in with the questions.
Yeah,
He'd always gonna go like, "How many calories do you eat?" It's like, "Do you like training?" So
yeah.
you go into New York Pro and you lose to Yashira, and it kind of felt, and I hate to say this, it kind of feels like a curse. It's like almost because the girls before you would never retain their title, and then everyone's saying like you lost that show. Now it's like you might lose the Olympia. Did that kind of worry you, or you kind of like, nope, you know what, I lost, I needed that so I can go back and get better?
I didn't think that because I thought of the previous year, and I started off my previous year at fifth place, right, and then 10th place. So it was like I I'm very realistic, so I know not every show is going to be perfect. Everyone's human here, so sometimes it won't go as well as I had hoped. But I think even then I was pretty realistic about that and just had a good head on my shoulders, I guess, when it comes to like any slight disappointments like that. But, I thought like, hey, second place is still good. Like that's nothing to complain about at New York Pro
Yeah.
against Yashara. Yeah, that's nothing to complain about. So I was like, you know what? I'll just use it as motivation to do even better.
All right. So going into the 2014 Olympia, how chaotic was that with like Kai and Phil, and obviously what happened on the prejudging stage, and then here you are going to be defending the title. Now there's more girls. There's 27, and the girl that was coming up was Janet. She was the nationals winner. She was probably hyped as just as you as to go for the title. You won. You succeeded. you did something unbelievable. You defended the title first time successfully. The first time I've ever heard in bikini, and still, that
Hmm.
was you.
Yeah, giving me goosebumps over here. Yeah, it's crazy that I got it the first time, but the second time I'm like, what is this? I'm dreaming. This is a simulation, this life. But it was. I will say there's one element that made it a little harder though, and it's just the burden of expectation, which is a thing I still deal with. But the only downside to ever winning the Olympia is people will forever hold you to that standard. And when you're not there, it's like, oh, she's getting worse. Oh, she's doing bad. Kind of like what you saw at New York. But yeah, so I carry the burden of expectation on my back the whole year. Once you do well at the Olympia and once you win, that's kind of like you're the girl. So it was a lot of pressure coming into 2014, but I was okay with it. It seemed to help me. And I think I came back even better than I did in 2013. And in 2014 and 15, I got a perfect score. So I must have been doing better.
So 2015, you won the Arnold again. And God, Arnold didn't even remember you. It's like, is this your first time at the show? He's like, no, I won it last year. Like, it's like,
Don't
oh.
expect him to
And you're
remember.
like, you're a jokester, Arnie. That was a good clip. That
I
was a
try
good remark.
to cool the temp.
So then there come so after you get to your third Olympia, what point did you feel like you did you kind of feel like worn out, tired, like, man, it's like it's a lot, winning 3 times in a row, and you always competed a lot, you know.
Hmm.
I remembered asking you when I met you at the meet and greet 2 years ago, what's your favorite pro win? And you told me your first one, and I told you your favorite win's going to be the next one. Like because you always look forward to the next thing. At what
Yeah.
point did you kind of feel like I'm competing so much? I'm like, after 2015 Olympia, did you kind of felt like, because in 2016 you took the whole year off, did you kind of
Mhm.
feel like you were tired and you're like it just needed to recharge a bit?
So I wouldn't say tired, but once I won 3 Olympias in a row, I will say after that third one, it didn't hit as good. Meaning, like I didn't get that same excitement as I did for the first one, obviously, and then the second. So I feel like it was it was a little bit dull. Like so, it was a little bit of a red flag because then I was like, uh oh, am I losing interest here? Um, but I just kind of needed a little break just to see what I was missing apparently. So, I think taking a year off though did help me find that once again, that drive and that passion. And, I kind of wanted to take a year just to see what regular people lived like, I guess you could say. And I can report back that living like a regular person for a year, it's not as fun. It really isn't. So I will take
Okay.
being a competitor all day, every day.
Okay. 2016 Olympia,
Mm-hmm.
42 girls,
Mm-hmm.
and I never forget how this is said. You hear going into that one, were you kind of like, I can get my fourth one, or I hope what I can do is enough? Did you have that self-doubt, or did you kind of feel like I'm still the top girl after seeing so many great athletes coming up, India winning the Arnold and the Arnold Australia, Angelica, she won Pittsburgh and New York, and Courtney, she was what, seventh at her first Olympia, and then she got third in 15. Did you ever see any of those girls like being ahead of you, or you kind of were like, I got this, I could still do well?
It was more like I hope this is enough because I already knew like my training and my focus wasn't as there, because some of my motivation dipped, during that year.
Mm,
So it was really hard to really get 100% locked in
yeah.
when I was, I was kind of like half-assing it.
Mm.
So I was more like, I hope this is enough. So definitely not my best show. um, but I still got fourth, so I can't complain too much. But
Mm.
it was not my best year
Yeah.
for progress. That is for sure.
And you walked out, and hearing Bob go, never forget how this is said, your final competitor from right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. She is your reigning, defending, 3-time Bikini Olympia champion, Ashley Kaltwasser. You came out and you look great, but maybe I'm wrong to say, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not the judge. I didn't know what happened. I was hearing like wasn't in the best wasn't in the ideal condition, was it not,
Yeah,
wasn't full, what was that, what was what did you get from that? Was it not the best condition? Were you not full enough? What was
yeah, my conditioning was not the best. I should have been leaner. I was a little too soft. Even for the 2016 standards, I was a little too soft then. So like, yeah, looking back, I mean, I already knew it. Like even on show day, I'm like, I don't think I'm lean enough, you know. So after I accepted it. It wasn't like I was too disappointed because I already knew. I was like, this is not my best, and I was happy just to get fourth at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you took it like a champion. You weren't like depressed. You were happy for everybody. You know,
Hmm.
listen, I've been runner ups a couple times, and I've seen even athletes who take runner up. They look at their second place medal and they're kind of like disappointed and frustrated. But so you decided from that point you took 2017 off. You left your previous coach and you met Adam. And I remembered when you and Adam connected and how cool that was. And you guys have
Yeah.
built something great. You know, we have a gym together. You guys are, I think you're doing posing seminars tomorrow. And this,
Yeah, we
he's
do
done a
post.
lot.
Yeah, traveling, all that. He's been a great coach, and I'm so glad that I found him because I wouldn't be back here where I am if it weren't for him. So I'm super grateful for that.
And can I tell you something before I go into the next year?
Sure.
You know what Angelica Teixeira said when she took second? When people asked, "Were you upset that you didn't defeat Courtney King?" You know what she said? Why would I be upset? Last year I was last call out. This year I get second. I surpassed my idols, Miss Olympia Ashley in India. Like
Oh,
I like I it's like I cannot say I've not had a bad year. It's like I've surpassed my idols, and there wasn't a perfect score. It was like 7, 10, and 11. So there were
mhm.
judges saying one of those three girls could have won the show, and Courtney got the nod that year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's so sweet to hear. Yeah, it's all about perspective. That's the thing. It's like that's another example of burden of expectation is like even when you come like I came back and I'm sure you're going to get to it in 2018. I came back and I got fifth and I had like the oh gosh, Ashley. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. And it's like, "Hello? I'm fifth in the world. Like
yeah,
I'm happy about it. And I just took a year off. Like I hate when people try to ruin your happiness and they try to make you disappointed. I'm like, no, no, I'm
you're still
happy.
the best at the game. You're still the best, and you know you're happy with. But 2017, it was just such a weird year, and you know, seeing that year happen, it was like you weren't there. Courtney decided to stop. Um, India was having a child, and then last minute, Janet just pulled out of the Olympia. So it's like four of the top six are not there. I'm just like scratching my head, like, no, Ashley. I'm like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
I literally was watching it like, this is so weird. Like it feels so empty without you. So, and I even
Mm.
said one time, it's like, I don't think bikini would even be popular had you not done unbelievable things. And that's why I appreciate you. As though people think when I do reviews or if I talk about you, I'm like, I appreciate Ashley. Like I see Ashley in the show every weekend, and we're gonna see why she wins. Like you will have fans that will defend you till you die.
Oh,
You have that, and you're and nobody's lifetime. No, you know, no one's gonna have that love. No one's gonna like love. They idolize you as much as anybody else.
oh, that's so nice. Well, that's so cool to hear. Thank you.
So 2017, you come back. Was it? Did you do Mile High that year, or did you do
Yes, 2000
Vancouver?
Mile High was my comeback show, and that was my first show with Coach Adam.
Okay. So then you win that one. You win Vancouver. So then you go back into the 2018 Olympia. So how hard was it? Like, did you to adjust to like the standards or like in keeping up with current pros? Because I always say like this, it's like bikini's like in a continually evolving game. It's like if you don't if you don't adapt, adjust, and overcome, you're going to be behind and may not do so well.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little rough getting back up there. Especially with the posing, I was super rusty, and the posing changes a little bit too. But yeah, I mean, in 2018, when I did come back in my placing at the Olympia, I mean, again, I took a year off, and I was grateful to get that placing because a lot of girls who take a year off don't. For whatever reason, and I think you alluded to it a little bit, you lose a lot of momentum when you take some time off. Things change, the sport evolves, and maybe even lose some confidence. But I did notice that girls that do take a year off never come back as good usually in bikini anyway. I haven't seen it in
Yeah.
bikini. So I think there's something to be said there. And I lost a lot of my umph. But we're getting it back.
I mean, you're very consistent, and that's why I think, you know, I don't know. I've noticed this, and maybe it's a pattern. I noticed it's like they take a whole year when the champion or like someone is like taking a whole year off, and they put everything into one show. It doesn't go well. You know,
Yeah.
we've had new champions for the past now 5 years. It's like they put everything into one show. I mean, I'm not praying that happens to Laura Lee or anybody else that ever is the champion, but it's like they put everything into one show versus bikini. I'd say it's better to make a mistake, and I will talk about that 2018 season because I mean I'm gonna talk about Sydney because from in figure she was the figure Olympia champion. She lost to Arnold, and then she decided Saturday would do Arizona Pro, and then Friday compete at the Olympia to defend her title. And people said that's a mistake. You're gonna make. You're gonna lose everything. You're taking risks. But she said, I don't. I want to do this show so I don't make that mistake, and that I know that I'm doing the right thing. She defeated Candice, and from that point for 6 years straight, she hadn't lost a single show.
Yeah. I don't know how these girls do it that only compete like once a year or something. Kudos to them, but that I can't do that.
Yeah,
Like
not in bikini.
to work out all the shake off the rust, really nail it, whether it be a peak week thing or my suit color or my hair or my presentation or conditioning or anything. I like a little preview, at least to see where I'm at before I step on the big stage because that is putting all your eggs in one basket and it's a big risk to me to just let's hope like my development was precise, in my muscle, in all the muscle groups, in all the right places, because sometimes even in off season, if you're a little too soft, sometimes it's hard to see that development. So I like to see where I'm at, a few times in the year. But with that being said, I am going to take a lighter show schedule till the Olympia this year. Um, just give my body a little more rest. But I still am getting back on stage, as you know, in Vancouver in about a week. So, yeah, we're trying to get rid of the rust and make sure everything is good to go for the O.
So 2019, you got third at the Arnold,
Mm-hmm.
and you wind up getting sixth at the Olympia. And the first time you're outside the top five,
Mm-hmm.
did you get kind of discouraged at one point because it's like you kept going down spots?
Yeah, so there was a few years where I was, getting a little bit worse. And I was very frustrated and aggravated. And those were the times where they were telling me I needed to get bigger, and I'm still stuck in my 2015 brain Olympia. And I'm like, bigger? What? It's really hard for me to put on muscle. So there was a few years where I didn't do as well. And I just kept getting that feedback.
So, okay, so then we go into 2020. And I know that was a chaotic year. Um, you won a lot of shows,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's like, "She's back in it. You're back in it." But unfortunately, you didn't make the first call out, and you wind up getting seventh. And I remember that video with you and Adam, and you were crying and you were upset about it. But I'm gonna show you this. I will tell you this. I'm not saying this to make you feel comfortable, like to make you like feel good about yourself, Ashley. But I look
Mm-hmm.
at your 2020 look. It didn't look bad like at all. I don't look at it like it was like that bad.
Yeah,
But then,
thing was off. I was a little too soft, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, I could see it. So, whenever I know when I don't like, I know my faults. When I do know of that, I don't get as like disappointed because I'm like, that's on me. I should have been leaner.
I mean, I don't know if this was true what Sandy said, but I don't, did she say like this is the worst you ever looked? I mean, if she
I
told me that,
I don't know. I didn't hear her say that, but I could.
if she told me that, I would feel sick to my stomach. I would throw up because I'm like, if but you took it and you were like, no, I believe that I can still be in that condition. And unfortunately, this is what happens in bikini when it's like people's placements start getting worse and they start to think I should I'm done. I should stop. Did that ever cross your mind after that year, or you're kind of like this was just a down year? I can still get back into that.
Honestly, I'm not exactly sure where my mind was, but I know that I wasn't thinking, "Oh, I'm done." Um, I guess I was just like, I guess I'm just getting worse and I have to accept it. I don't think I thought like I needed to retire after that point, but I mean, it's hard to say where my mind was at. I guess it's so much has happened since then, but I never thought about quitting after that.
Well, that's good to hear because I mean, listen, you're professional. I mean, when you're in the pro league, you're a professional. You took it very well. I mean, I'm still in the amateurs right now, but even as a professional, I'm gonna have to learn how to take it. But like, if I was told, like, because obviously judges have that expectation of what you're gonna show up on this day at your best. Like, we don't care what happened in the past. Like, we know who Ashley is. We know that Ashley holds herself to a standard. I mean, it's crazy how someone can go and say, like, oh, I won everything as an amateur in 2018. I won the Anaheim, I won Santa Fe, I won the USA. But that physique probably wouldn't even place now. I would be dead last. You have to
Yeah.
keep adapting and playing the game, and that's just what bikini is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's fast.
yeah. So 2021, you come back,
Getting myself out of the hole. Yeah.
you get third in the Clash, and then you won Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And then you get fourth in the Arnold that year and third in Olympia. So now you're back into the top three. And that year you got your 30th pro win. And I think that's the third time I've seen you cry because Romania, when you won, you cried because you're like, I didn't sleep. I only got
Yeah.
4 hours of sleep.
Yeah. That's a good memory you have. Yeah. I got my 30th at Romania. It was super special. And it was such a cool show to get it at too. I love that show. Very epic stage.
So 2022 season, third at the Olympia. I mean, I'm third at the Olympia with 54 girls. I know we're gonna get into this later conversation about the Olympian stuff, but 54 girls on that stage. How was that? How overwhelming was it? Or you kind of just like, I'm gonna do my thing and I'm still gonna be there?
Yeah, I guess, with my previous year, I got third. I was like, oh, the pressure, the burden of expectation is high again because I did well. So people are looking at me to be in the mix. So I remember at that point, I was like, I just want to get first call out. I'll worry about it after. I just first call out and I'll be happy, and just to see where I fall in after that. But yeah, no, I got first call out and then some. So I was, I was happy.
And so then 2023, you get third at the Olympia and you can get 40 wins. Did you kind of feel like with three third places in a row, you're kind of like, damn, I'm just stuck at third, or like, no, I'm right there to win it. No, I can be in that top two. I can win this. I can win this again.
My mind thought differently. I was like, holy crap, I'm still third place? What? Oh my God, I'll take it. I was like, I will take this every year. Give it to me. Third place, I'll take it. I was happy. Like, I, even now, I'm just like, how am I still doing this? Like, I don't know. Still here. But no, I was happy about third. I'm like, I don't know how I'm still doing this, but I'm not complaining.
So then 2024, you get second at the Olympia, you get your 50th win. Okay, and the whole like people complain about you competing a lot, and here's my thing, and even JM says it best. It's like, if you can't beat Ashley in a pro show, how do you beat her at the Olympia? And I add on to that like this. It's like, hey, guess what? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Miss Olympias got to go through. You got one. If you could beat one, you could beat the others. And I'm like, this is the real challenge. Like, Ashley, I'm sorry, that's your final boss you got to face.
I'm just doing my part, trying to make it a better audience experience for you guys watching out there. So doing my part.
I'm the Thanos memes I did. I'm like, she's winning these shows like she's getting the stones. I'm like, you can't
Yeah.
avoid like. So I'm gonna get into this year, but I don't. The whole cockroach thing. I want to know something about that. Was that something you called yourself, or someone called you that, and you're like, okay, I'm a cockroach?
No, I called myself that because I'm like, I'm just gonna have fun with it. People don't want to see me there. Listen, I already know you don't want to see me there. I'm like invading. I'm a pest. You can't get rid of me. I just keep coming back. I'm there. I'm always there. But you already know this. When I got my 50 wins, I upgraded myself to a tardigrade, which is a little more cute. So we're tardigrade right now.
I was like, someone's gonna say, you're a disgusting bug, you're a disgusting pest, Ashley. Like, you should know better, bug expert. I'm no longer a cockroach. I've shed my skin. I'm now a tardigrade.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Destroy me.
So,
Yeah.
so what you, I mean, listen, you've been doing like amazing things, even year in and year out. You're at seminars, you're traveling the world. I mean, for half this year, you've been at seminars like nonstop, and you were getting booked out almost everywhere across the world. And honestly, you're a great representation of the sport. And you know,
Yeah.
you were, even when you're, even as you were not Miss Olympia, people are still coming to you. They're still visiting you. They still want to say like, how do I learn? How do I train to look like you?
Hmm.
So so my one question for you is, what does winning now mean versus in the past?
It actually means a lot more, but I always like to say every win I like to treat like my first ever win, because to I don't want that feeling to ever get boring, because I do feel like I'll lose some motivation. But every win now is just I'm proving myself that I'm exceeding every expectation that I've had. So, I've won 3 Olympias. Everything's icing on the cake right now. But it's really cool that I keep impressing myself. It's one thing to impress other people, but I continue to impress my own self, which motivates me just to keep going.
And so another, here's my, and I have a couple questions. So my next one will be, will there ever be another Ashley K, or do you believe that you're the once in a lifetime athlete? I mean, I believe that you're once in a lifetime. Will there be another Ashley K, or you don't see another like dynasty, another legacy like you are? Like you want to be that person that cemented yourself.
Here's the thing, I think there could be, but I don't think there will be, because no one will ever go to the lengths I do to get the win. To do like I go to freaking I just went to Kazakhstan, okay? Last year, like no one will do. I'm pretty confident no one's going to do what I've done to get there. I think that will be the question, but I don't think I'm physically more special than anyone else, I will say. Um but yeah, I have the same saying, in order to be great, you have to do things that other people are unwilling to do. And I feel like I'm doing, like, most people are unwilling to do what I do. So that's where I think it's
I
going to
mean,
be at.
you put yourself in these situations. You put yourself in these lineups. I think, if you had a show like, for instance, was Toronto, was which one was which Vancouver show was it? It was like prejudging on Saturday and finals on Sunday. You put
Vancouver.
yourself in those scenarios.
Yeah, yeah, those aren't hard, and even like going to Kazakhstan, it's not hard, or it's not easy. It's not easy. It is hard, because of the travel and things like that, and a lot of people don't think of these things, but it takes a lot out of you.
So I always say this, like you always get uncomfortable being comfortable. And I think people could learn that for you. Like instead of going for a small show, like let me play it safe, let me get a win. It's like you got to think you can have those wins, and that's great, but you need to get uncomfortable. You got to face real athletes and real challenge because they're going to be at the Olympia. Is that
Yeah.
something you're like, I look forward to doing those kind of shows? And is there a particular show that you haven't won yet that you would like to win?
Um, so there's one show that I've never won, but I'd like to, but I haven't competed there in a few years, so I can't even tell you if I could win it. It's New York Pro. Maybe next year I'll do it. I've never won that show. But as far as like the small versus big show conversation, I don't really think that way, because I do think even small shows can be difficult. Example, Kazakhstan. Maybe the competition there wasn't crazy intense, but to get there, that was hard. Like, to take 35-hour travel, and all the time zone changes and customs, and missing sleep, and that's hard. So I don't think that's any easier than doing like a bigger show. I just put myself in like challenging scenarios, but I don't really look at the lineups as much, I guess. Um I don't really do the stalking on the Instagram to see who's doing who. Who's doing what. So, like, I'm kind of impartial to that.
I can tell you this right now because I'm close to her. Skylar Lanier, she turned pro at the Junior USA. She won the overall in 2018, and I think she said she went against you. I think it was her fifth show. Was it like it was a California show you did? And she was like, "Oh, Ashley's here. If I win, great. If I don't, oh well." But it's not like they see you and like it's like, "Oh no, it's Ashley." She's like,
Yeah.
"If I do well, okay." She wound up getting a thing 12 in that show, but she was like, "Hey, I got to go against one of the best." So this was a learning, and this was her rookie season. So I feel like going against that and getting that experience is always something good. Like, hey, I get to be compared with the best. I get, if I'm going to go for the biggest stage, I have to put myself with the best. You know,
Yeah.
I want to be a contender. I don't want to be a number. And I always think that way. And I'm going to get to the topic of the Olympic, but I consider you, Ashley, and maybe the spectators, the insiders, the fans would say different. I consider you the Kobe Bryant of bikini. And I'll
Thank
tell you
you.
why. A lot of people say LeBron James, but like LeBron James is not doing so well at the end of his career. But I don't want to say you're at the end of your career, but like you're in your later years, you're still doing great. You're still at the top. Like
Thank you.
I think about all the people that you went through at the beginning. You know, your first Arnold, you had two Miss Olympias you went through. You went through almost, you're the fourth one. So you went through almost 7 girls eras, and you constantly had to adapt and play the game, and you keep yourself at the high level. That's why I keep saying Kobe Bryant, because you're not LeBron where you're great, you're gonna carry everything forward. No, you came in I think you turned pro 22, 23 years old.
I have no idea. Something
You
like
won your
that.
first one at 24, so that's
Yeah.
crazy. I looked like you're born in 88.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm born in 95, so but you've done this for a long time. You came in like, I'm gonna just see how this goes and do very well, and you've done that every year in and
Hmm.
year out. So what do you hope your legacy is when that time comes, and what do you want to be remembered for?
Just okay. So to be remembered, I'm not going to be all cheesy and be like, "She's so gracious," and I met her backstage and she was nice, and because I won a lot, sure, that because I won the most winning. There we go. Nothing more, nothing less. The winningest.
So going on the topic of the Olympia, and I know I hear you guys, I hear everybody, I hear Adam talking about it. I know it's ridiculous. I mean, probably after this weekend, there's going to be 60 girls qualified. What do you think is something that the pro league could do so that there's less people at the Olympic? Because I say this: top 20 athletes, first two callouts, those are the best in the world. I'm not taking away that anyone like won a pro show and qualify; they deserved it. But what can there be done to get the best of the best to the stage?
So I
In
thought
your
about
opinion?
this too, and yeah, it's really hard because I think, well, firstly, I don't think we need that the Olympia needs to pay for everyone's travel because that's what's making this. If they're going to pay for your travel, yeah, they want to see you on stage for X amount of minutes or whatever, right? No one wants to pay for someone to compete at the Olympia to just do the comparison round for 30 seconds. Like, that's pointless, right? So I think there
Mhm.
needs to be like something to maybe like if you qualify for a certain tier show, then you get it paid. But I don't think
Yeah.
we need to pay for everyone's because that is expensive. But I do think that it should be either like or a 2 day, right? Or at least in the morning or night, nothing too close so because there needs to be a good gap. Prejudging, I think, should just be the comparison round, like the numerical call outs. You know what I mean by numerical call outs?
Yes.
Like alphabetical or whatever order. So those group call outs, see those, maybe even the comparisons. I don't think we need to see 60 presentations twice. And I don't think we need to see everyone's presentation for prejudging. Just do the group comparisons and then pick out the top 20, like you suggested. Top 20 can do their presentation. Presentation's holding everyone up. It's like,
Yeah.
even backstage, like I'm waiting in my heels. I'm like, all right, cool. They're on number 12. All right, cool. I got
Yeah.
I got like an hour.
I feel the pain, and
So,
I've heard it from many athletes. It's kind of like, bikini goes on third after classic and men's physique, and it's like first person up, and it's like, okay, first person goes. It's like people miss a peak, they'll not have enough time to get pumped, because you know how it's like when you guys are like, all right, ladies, everyone in line, 1, 2, 5, 15, 25, 30, 42, and then it keeps going, and it's like you don't have time. So people will tend to look flat. It's like I feel like I want people to come at your best. You're the best athlete, and I want to see you at your best. I want to
mhm.
see peak Ashley. I'm waiting. Like I hoped I live to see whatever year happens. I hope to hear the words "and once again."
Oh,
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to
yeah.
see. It's never. I mean, Jen got it, but she got and new, and I'm like, oh, come on, Bob. You could have said it once again. It would have been great, but but I would love to hear that, especially from you. But I don't know how that's going to be done. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to figure out something, because keep in mind there's an Olympia amateur, and they're not going
Yeah.
to judge from Tuesday to Friday, because Thursday is the only day they get off. Like everyone's like, the judge will be all star-eyed. And I mean, listen, I respect everybody, and I respect all the judges, but I don't care how good of a judge you are. You're not going to judge 60, 70 people fairly in a division. So it's like, you want to be at the top now. It's like, you got to be memorable. You better be in front of them. You better make yourself like well known. And
Yeah.
that's what you do. You make yourself, it's not because of your name, but like, you get in front of them, you wow them on the when you walked out.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I do think that they will figure out something to this mess, because I know it's been a big issue for many people. But not even the bikini girls. I feel more sorry for the men. Where actually, yeah, the timing really matters for them, not so much for us. Like we're not, I'm not like striated with grading muscle fibers. Like it's not the same. It's worse for them. So if they miss their peak by like an hour, you can tell big time. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do think that there will be a solution. Probably not this year though, but maybe for next.
Yeah. I mean, we can I would love to have this conversation. I would love to have Adam on, and especially talk about this and, get to know him. But um I appreciate everything that, bringing you on, Ashley. I'm honored, to know that you're the reason I got into bikini. You're the reason that,
Ah,
you did things differently. I don't want to say you change it, but when you changed that posing, I was just like, okay, this is a little more comfortable.
yeah.
And I liked it so much better
Mm-hmm.
when it was
Well,
2015. And they made a division after you. So that's what I think, like, hey,
it is pretty cool. It's like, whoa, I never thought that would be a thing, when I first stepped on stage. Like, it's so crazy that the career has really, again, exceeded my expectations. So, and still I'm nowhere close to being done. So we'll see how much I got left.
yeah. So, I mean, what do you think of Now Fit model? Is there just right now that I'm looking at a couple of people who've turned pro, and I can tell, I could look at them and go, okay, that person's going to be something good. Um, there was one that from the junior nationals, I was really impressed with. Like, she walked out, she won her class, and she won the overall. I was just like, that could be the person. And they're
Mm,
and they're molding their physique after like what bikini used to be. But I get it, the division changes, more muscles going to be. But I don't think bikini's gotten to like that extreme point. It's like we're at a good point, but now it's like with so many divisions and so many athletes, now there's got to be like very like, this is bikini, that's figure, and so
yeah.
on and so on and so on. There's got to be like, because Ashley, I cannot imagine you doing a front lat spread ever. And figure. I'm sorry. Like, it was someone like, do you think Ashley could do figure? I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that
No,
would look good on her.
barely big enough. It took me it took me up until like probably last year to stop hearing that I need to like bring up my arms or my shoulders. So finally big enough. But don't think I'll be big enough for a figure. So we're staying in bikini.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna pull up your page right now, and if you have anyone you want to shout out to?
Yeah, my coach Adam from Team Elite Physique, Adam Bonilla. Also my sponsor High Tech Pharma in the house. My sponsor Colt Fitness, Angel Competition Bikinis, Liquid Sun Rays, the Shoe Fairy Trifecta. Them,
All codes are
all
Ashley
of
K Fit.
all of them. Yeah,
Everybody use code Ashley K Fit at
Ashley
checkout.
at checkout. Right, get a little
All
disc.
right. All right. All right. Listen, thank you so much for coming on. I'm glad to, have this conversation and learn more about you. And I'm glad my questions got asked, because I felt like nobody was asking them. Like, I've seen it. I kind of want to get your point of view. And I was so happy to, you were willing to come on. I know you're very busy. You have a lot of shows coming up, and you're getting booked out everywhere. I mean, you're going to go to Slovakia at one point?
I was at one point, but I'm actually switching that until after Olympia. I'm going to do a little Europe tour, so stay
Okay.
tuned for that. But I'll be in Europe post Olympia.
All right. Thank you so much. And guys, beware, the tardigrade's on the loose.
The tardigrade is on the loose.
Thank you so much, Ashley. You take care.
Yeah. Yes. Bye.